Hey, welcome to Perspective. In this podcast, we are just two regular people like you reflecting on life's big questions. Why are we here? What's the meaning of it all? There's a lot out there on these topics, but it can feel overly complicated. So, on this podcast, we'll read books, break down the ideas, and see how we can apply them in everyday life. We are sharing our conversations, hoping it helps spark some of your own reflections. So, to kick things off, what I want to discuss today is about learning about myself. So, what I've been doing is first trying to, so when I get up in the morning, I read uh, a book, and after that what I do is I just try to digest what I've read, and when I come into that flow, then either first I meditate and then journal, or sometimes journal and then meditate. Like there's no order, but yeah, like I have reserved some 1.5 hours in the morning for this only. So this kind of this 1.5 hours, this kind of sets a very good tone for the whole day for me. It basically kind of nurtures my mind. So reading nurtures my mind, writing helps me process things, and meditation look into what is going on in my mind and to basically make it silent or stable. So like this is what I do in the morning, and how it helps me is sometimes what happens is
How it helps in learning about yourself.
in learning about myself is um, I have a frame, like in my journal I have a framework, which
Framework means thought process.
a thought process. So when I started journaling, I used to just pick up my pen or pencil and just write mindlessly whatever is coming into my mind. I used to just write, and you can say that I was venting out to my notebook, but basically it was just that. Then I figured this thing ki it's not helping me understand anything or process anything. It was definitely bringing out emotions which I felt in my previous day, but I was not thinking or processing them, like what happened, why this happened, what was the pattern, why am I doing this, all these things. I wasn't doing it that time. Then like while reading books and all, so I understood ki um, I started thinking ki why I am doing certain things. So for example, I have a short temper. So if I get angry, so what happens in that moment? From where did it start? What was the trigger? Why does this particular trigger point repeat? What can I do about it? How did I felt at that time? So all these things I started analyzing. Then while doing this again, so I kept doing this, and then while reading one day, I found out that it was Buddha's book, where he told that there are, so whatever we experience, it's an experience, right? So he told me, like it was written ki there are five aspects of an experience that you do. One is the physical part of it. Like for example, I saw something, so I felt, I touched, all these things. So that is a physical part of it. Now somebody said to me something, that is a physical part of it, कि किसी ने कुछ बोला, that's the trigger, or the form part of it. Then there is what the response part. So what did I feel? That's the second aspect of the experience. Ki what did I feel? What emotion did it trigger? Then when I responded to it, what were the patterns, my mental patterns that I used to understand that situation. Like for example, um, somebody gave me flowers. So either if it was a boy, I could take it in a like a negative thing. Maybe he's trying to do something there. Approach me. So that is a mental model. Maybe he wasn't, but that is my perception, and that perception is coming from like my mental mapping. कि कुछ मैंने पहले कुछ मैंने experience किया होगा और उससे मैंने ये perceive किया. So mental model, feelings, and perception. These three things are what happen inside my mind that are adding to my experience. Same trigger can make you feel or perceive that thing differently because your mental models are different. And mental models are obviously formed all throughout my life with whatever is happening in my life. So these are the 4 aspects of experience. And the 5th one is consciousness, which is basically, was I aware? Was I consciously doing that or not? So there are a lot of things that we usually do in a very reactive way. So that part. So that's the 5th part of a 5th aspect of an experience. So I understood this and I started trying this out very recently. And what I used to do is to pick up one event from my previous day and just try to analyze in these terms. So this told me a lot about why did I do that? What was the pattern? Should I continue this pattern? And it also, like, whenever that happened again, so it used to trigger. It, like, that thing used to come in my mind, this again is happening. So that in that moment, somehow I used to become aware कि ये फिर से हो रहा है. Now, do I want to repeat or not? So this is how it helped. This whole morning routine helped, along with meditation, which will come to it later. But yeah.
So Priya, if the topic today is learning about myself, which for me translates to self-awareness. So hearing what you had to speak, what I gather is one good reason to have self-awareness is to understand your own patterns and behaviors.
Yes.
Okay. And I believe, like we have spoken before, you have also been to psychologists in your times of trouble. So do you think that is just another method, that is you taking someone else's help just to figure things about yourself?
Going to a therapist.
Going to therapist is the same thing. So क्या आपको लगता है कि ये जो self awareness जो बढ़ती है, मतलब meditation से whatever जो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं, अगर self awareness की बात कर रहे हैं हम, आपको लगता है कि दूसरे किसी को अपना पूरा हिस्ट्री, कंडीशन, कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझाने से अच्छा आप बोल रही हैं कि ये मेडिटेशन या जो भी आपका मेथड है वो करने से आप एक सॉर्ट ऑफ आपके पास एक सेल्फ हेल्प टूल आ गया जिससे आप, which is self awareness, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So going to a therapist might help in certain cases, but in general, मतलब अगर कोई ऐसा disorder नहीं है या कुछ like in general, if you want to lead an intentional life, क्योंकि ऐसे बहुत सारे moments आते हैं हमारी लाइफ में जहाँ पे ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने ये क्यों किया, कुछ गलत कर दिया, या कुछ बहुत छोटी सी भी चीज़ हो सकती है कि मैं ड्राइव कर रही थी और सडनली कुछ मैंने देखा, एक्सीडेंट हुआ, तो मैं रुक भी सकती हूँ और मैं जा भी सकती हूँ, मैं कंटिन्यू कर सकती हूँ. तो मैं बाद में अगर सोचूं कि मैंने क्यों कंटिन्यू किया या मैंने क्यों रुका, तो ये सारी चीज़ें मेरे को एक इंटेंशनल लाइफ लीड करने में हेल्प करती है. मैं बेहोशी में नहीं चलूंगी.
इंटरेस्टिंग.
मतलब मुझे ये समझ में आया कि जो भी करो ऐसा बाद में नहीं लगना चाहिए कि मैंने ये क्यों किया, मैंने गुस्से में ऐसा बोल दिया, बस गुस्से में ऐसा बोल दिया, तो वो बेहोशी में बोला, क्योंकि अगर मैं अपने फुल होशो हवास में होती तो मैं वैसा नहीं बोलती.
You mean to say higher self-aware people are more conscious of what their behaviors are?
Yes.
They're less reactive, what you say?
They're less reactive. They're more in control of their life in whatever way they can be.
Interesting. Sounds interesting. Self-awareness, learning about myself is the topic. Okay.
Yes. So how do you practice self-awareness?
I think what I'm going to read today, like from a book by Osho. The book's title is The Book of Man. And I think what I'm going to read today is sort of on those lines. The title of the chapter is The Robot.
Okay.
The Robot is the title of the chapter. And how that connects to self-awareness is, I'll give an example from my life. While I was growing up in the childhood, I was obsessed with being productive. So whenever I used to set idols. My father used to come to me and say, "What are you up to? What are you up to?" was the question. And how I perceived was, for whatever reason, I perceived was that you have to be really productive. So that was the conditioning, that was the thought process, and maybe that comes from the industrial age thinking, where machines are categorized by how productive or how efficient they are. So where it connects to self-awareness is that once you start meditating, and I think it was maybe before meditation as well, once you start understanding, once you start becoming more self-aware, you realize that the things that are causing you suffering or pain or trouble, and this was one of those reasons for me, I could never relax properly because I was always thinking that I'm wasting time or what. So that is how being self-aware has helped me, in the sense it has helped me be aware of this subconscious or childhood pattern of being productive all the time. And once the behavior is in your awareness, you realize the advantages or the disadvantages from it and can be more free.
Understood. Okay, we'll start with the reading.
Okay, the robot. Okay, the robot. Author says, why do the Sufis say that man is a machine? Do you know who Sufis are?
No. Like definition wise, no. But when I say
They're
movies,
basically a subsection of the Muslim community. You can think like that. Why do the Sufis say that man is a machine? Man is a machine. That's why. Man is a machine. That's why. Man as he is utterly unconscious. He is nothing but his habits, the sum total of his habits. Man is a robot. Man is not yet man. Unless consciousness enters into your being, you will remain a machine. Consciousness is a word that you also use. So what do you mean by that?
I have actually thought about it because ये सारी जो books में बहुत ज़्यादा use करते हैं consciousness, the word. तो मुझे बस what I've understood till now about this word is it's just ध्यान. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना तुम्हारा ध्यान कहाँ है? It's just that. तो तुम्हारा ध्यान कहाँ है? तुम्हारा consciousness कहाँ है? Now,
Wouldn't ध्यान mean attention?
awareness. तो लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं केवल मैं टीवी देख रही हूँ, ठीक है, तो मेरा ध्यान उस कंटेंट पे हो सकता है. मैं अगर मूवी देख रही हूँ तो मैं मूवी देख रही हूँ, तो मैं मैं पूरा ध्यान मेरा वहां पर है. सो माई होल कॉन्शियसनेस इज देयर. ठीक है, तो मेरा कॉन्शियसनेस मेरी बॉडी के बाहर एक एक्सटर्नल चीज पर है विच इज द मूवी दैट आई एम वॉचिंग. ठीक है, लेकिन जरूरी नहीं है मैं बैठ के अगर कोई मुझे दूर से देखेगा तो उसको लगेगा कि मैं देख रही हूँ, लेकिन मेरा ध्यान कहीं और है. मेरा ध्यान मे बी मेरे दिमाग के अंदर किसी और चीज पर है. सो माई कॉन्शियसनेस इज इनसाइड माई ब्रेन डूइंग समथिंग एल्स. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ध्यान इज कॉन्शियसनेस. सो आई कैन कंट्रोल दैट, बट समटाइम्स वो माइंड के कंट्रोल में चला जाता है और तब ऐसा लगता है कि मैं आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल हूँ और ऑटोमेटिक चल रहा है सब कुछ.
Consciousness is a very interesting topic and maybe we will come across it maybe further down the line. आगे continue करते हैं. That's why the Sufis say man is a machine. It is from the Sufis that Gurdjieff introduced the idea to the West that man is a machine. When Gurdjieff said for the first time that man is a machine, it shocked many people. But he was saying the truth. It is very rarely that you are conscious. In your whole 70 years life, if you live the ordinary so-called life, you will not know even when some moments of awareness, you will not know even 7 moments of awareness in your entire life. And even if you know those 7 moments or less, they will only be accidental. For example, you may know a moment of awareness if somebody suddenly comes and puts a revolver on your heart. In that moment, your habitual thinking stops. For a moment, you become aware. because it's so dangerous. You cannot remain ordinarily asleep. In some dangerous situation, you become aware. Otherwise, you remain fast asleep. You are perfectly skillful at doing your things mechanically. Just stand by the side of the road and watch people. You will be able to see that they are all walking in their sleep.
Yeah, this
All
I've
are
done.
sleepwalkers, somnambulists, and so are you. What do you mean when you say when it's happened?
तो ऐसे मैं एक बार देख रही थी कि मैं रेलवे स्टेशन में बैठी थी और मैं बस देख रही थी, वहाँ पे वेट कर रही थी अपने ट्रेन का। तो मैं देख रही थी कि मोस्टली वैसे भी आजकल लोग अपने फ़ोन में देख के चलते हैं, तो लोगों का ध्यान, अगर उनका ध्यान फ़ोन में होता है, उनका ध्यान वो एक्चुअल में कहाँ पर है, कहाँ चल रहे हैं, वो उस पर नहीं। तो और कई बार अगर बंदा चल रहा होगा लेकिन कहीं और सोच रहा होगा, कुछ और सोच रहा होगा, तो वो चल रहा है, वो कॉन्शियसली नहीं चल रहा है, वो देख, मतलब ऑब्वियसली इट्स नॉट एफिशिएंट। हमारा माइंड एफिशिएंसी को सेंटर पे रखता है, तो इसलिए वो मतलब चल रहा होता है, तो फिर वो ऐसे ऑटोमेटिक मोड में चला जाता है और वो पैरेलली कुछ और भी सोच सकता है, तो वो सोच रहा होता है। लेकिन ये चीज़ मैंने देखी है कि तभी तो वो एक्सीडेंट्स भी तो इसी पे होता है कि मैं चल रही हूँ फिर धाड़ करके कहीं पे लग गया मुझे, क्योंकि मेरा ध्यान एक्चुअली कहीं और था, मैं वहाँ उस मोमेंट में नहीं थी। तो आई हैव सीन, आई हैव नोटेड दिस थिंग।
True, I have also noted people.
मैं खुद करती हूँ।
Okay, so it says, the book says, two bums were arrested and charged with a murder that had been committed in the neighborhood. The jury found them guilty and the judge sentenced them to hang by their necks until dead, and God have mercy on their souls. The two the two bums bore up pretty well until the morning of the day set for the execution arrived. As they were being prepared for the gallows, one turned to the other and said, "Damn me if I ain't about off my nut. I can't get my thoughts together. Why? I don't even know what day of the week it is. This is a Monday," said the other bum. "Monday? Oh my god. What a rotten way to start the week. Just watch yourself. Even to the point of death, people go on repeating old habitual patterns. Now there is going to be no week. The morning has come when they are to be hanged. But just the old habit. Somebody says it is a Monday and you say Monday, oh my god, what a rotten way to start the week." Man reacts. That's why the Sufis say man is a machine. Unless you start responding, unless you become responsible, reaction comes out of the past. Responses come out of the present moment.
करेक्ट।
Response is spontaneous, reaction is just an old habit. Any thoughts?
दैट्स सो ट्रू।
That's an important thing to highlight. Response is spontaneous. Response is spontaneous. And reaction is just an old habit.
हाँ,
So it can also be understood that if you like, let's say if you belong to a particular religion and somebody provokes you, the reaction out of that old habits could be something like you getting angry or you getting offended. That's a reaction. But coming back to our topic, which is self-awareness today, if you are meditative, you'll be self-aware of that reaction coming in. And when you are aware, then there is a gap and then you can respond in the way you like.
या रिएक्शन सिंपली ये भी हो सकता है कि तकिया का नाम बोलते हैं ना कि यू नो लाइक, कुछ लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं, रिपीटेडली बोलते हैं, यू नो लाइक, यू नो लाइक।
There's some phrases that they repeat.
हाँ, तो ये भी रिएक्शन ही है। इट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम अ पैटर्न, इट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम अ हैबिट। तो ये जब वो ये चीज बोलते हैं, वो कॉन्शियसली नहीं बोलते हैं, वो होता है, वो ऑटोमेटिकली होता है। तो आई फील दैट्स ऑल्सो, इफ यू आर सेल्फ अवेयर, you are aware of everything that you're speaking. So you'll notice this, and if you are irritated by it, you will not repeat. So it can help in so many ways. It can help in improving your communication. Whatever you want to fix, you can fix if you are self-aware in you.
Just watch yourself. Your woman says something to you. Then whatsoever you say, watch. Ponder over it. Is it just a reaction? And you will be surprised 99% of your acts are not acts because they are not responses. They are just mechanical, just mechanical. It has been happening again and again. You say the same thing and your woman reacts the same way. And then you react and it ends in the same thing again and again. You know it, she knows it, everything is predictable. Just watch yourself. The things that you are doing, you have done so many times. The way you react, you have been reacting always. In the same situation, you always do the same thing. You're feeling nervous and you take out your cigarette and you start smoking. It's a reaction. Whenever you have felt nervous, you have done it.
हैबिट्स आर रिएक्शंस. हम कल ही बात कर रहे थे कि लोग हैबिट बनाते हैं जिससे कि उनको ऐसे एफर्ट ना डालना पड़े. हम हैबिट्स से बनाते हैं ना. सब लोग हैबिट्स के पीछे एटॉमिक हैबिट्स पढ़ रहे हैं. इतनी सक्सेसफुल बुक है वो. क्यों इतना हैबिट्स के पीछे पागल है? क्योंकि वो फिर हम कॉन्शियसली शुरू में हैबिट बनाते हैं, वो चीज़ करते हैं सेम टाइम पे, जिससे कि वो एफर्ट, जो मेंटल एफर्ट होता है वो कम हो जाए. मैं ऑटोमेटिकली कर लूँ. तो वो ऑटोमेटिक मोड में हम खुद को लेके आना चाहते हैं जब हम अपना हैबिट फॉर्मेशन कर रहे होते हैं.
Correct. And like if you I want to add this point that if you get this skill of watching yourself, it is helpful because, and especially with the context of smoking, what I want to say is that when you smoke, there is this certain chemical that releases in your brain because of nicotine, and that makes you feel a certain way. So, because I know a little bit about how habit works, then that association develops. Association between you feeling stressful and you want to release that chemical that released in the brain. That's association. So again, coming back to our topic of self-awareness, if you if you're self-aware, then you will notice this association.
Okay.
And only if the first step will be to notice the association, only then you can do something about it.
So have you been able to get rid of any bad habit because of self-awareness in your life?
I mean, I can say the last time the situation that I'm describing is happened just 2 days ago. Like I am sitting in my work environment after a stressful meeting, and I get an urge to smoke. It was very clear to me,
Okay.
and yeah, so it was in my awareness, and I didn't do anything about it. Okay, you are a machine. It is just a built-in program in you now. You feel nervous, your hand goes in the pocket, the packet comes out. It is almost like a machine doing things. You take the cigarette out, you put the cigarette in your mouth, you light the cigarette, and this is all going mechanically. This has been done millions of times, and you are doing it again. Each time you do it, it is strengthened. The machine becomes more mechanical. The machine becomes more skillful. The more you do it, the less awareness is needed to do it. This is why the Sufis say man functions as a machine. Unless you start destroying these mechanical habits, for example, do something just contrary to what you have always done. Try it. You come home, you are afraid. You are as late as ever, and the wife will be ready to quarrel with you. And you are planning how to answer, what to say. There was too much work in the office, and this and that. And she knows all that you are planning, and she knows what you are going to say if she asks you why you are late. And you know if you say that you are late because there was too much work, she is not going to believe it either. She has never believed it. She may have already checked, she may have phoned the office, she may have already inquired where you are, but still, this is just a pattern. Today, go home and behave totally different. The wife asks you where you have been, and you say, I was with a woman making love. then see what happens. She will be shocked. She will not know what to say. She will not even have any way to find words to express it. For a moment, she will be completely lost. Because no reaction, no old pattern is applicable. Or maybe if she has become too much of a machine, she will say, I don't believe you. Just as she has never believed you. You must be joking. Every day you come home, dot, dot, dot. So Sufis have such devices. They say, act totally different. And not only will others be surprised, you will be surprised. And just in small things. For example, when you are nervous, you walk fast. Don't walk fast. Go very slowly and see. You will be surprised that it doesn't fit. That your whole mechanical mind immediately says, what are you doing? You have never done this. And if you walk slowly, you will be surprised. Nervousness disappears because you have brought in something new. So this doing something totally different and shocking yourself, have you tried this? Have you done this?
Sometimes. It's not a regular thing, but sometimes I've done it.
Yeah, understood.
I think it's very true.
No.
If you do things which you don't do normally, first of all, that's very difficult.
Lighting a cold shower.
Yeah, because you're used to, तो उस अगर आप उस सिचुएशन में आ गए हो और वो सिचुएशन हमेशा बहुत बार आप कर चुके हो इन अ सर्टेन पैटर्न, ठीक है, तो इट्स वेरी इजी टू डू दैट अगेन. इट रिक्वायर्स एफर्ट टू नॉट डू दैट अगेन. तो इसलिए वो थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होता है कि ऐसे रुक जाना अचानक से, फिर चीज़ों को अलग तरीके से करना. और अगर अलग तरीके से करो तो फिर तो you get different responses, obviously. And I think मैंने कभी इसको ऐसे स्मार्टली अप्लाई नहीं किया है, बट किसी किसी चीज़ पे आई थिंक ये हेल्प कर सकता है. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मैं सैड फील कर रही हूँ तो जैसे यूजुअली सब ऐसे वीडियोस वगैरह में बोलते हैं कि जैसे ही तुम नॉट डिप्रेस बट सैड फील कर रहे हो, लो फील कर रहे हो, तो कुछ फिजिकल एक्टिविटी करो. टहलने चले जाओ, कहीं कुछ बाहर ही चले जाओ, दूसरे रूम में चले जाओ, या बस नॉर्मल वॉकिंग भी अगर शुरू कर दो तो योर मूड विल चेंज. तो वो ये चीज़ मैंने कभी कभी ट्राई करी है. कभी कभी मैंने ये भी देखा है कि म्यूजिक से चीज़ें चेंज हो जाती हैं. आपका ऐसा इनर्शिया होता है वहाँ पे, अगर आप लो मूड पे हो तो आपको ऐसा मन करेगा आप रोतलू गाने ही सुनते रहो. आपका इनर्शिया फॉर्म हो जाता है. लेकिन अगर आप वो पैटर्न तोड़ दो तो फिर आप अपने आप देखोगे कि वो इमोशनल स्टेट चेंज हो. सो दीज थिंग्स आई हैव ट्राइड एंड इट एक्चुअली वर्क्स, बट इट्स डिफिकल्ट.
These are the methods of Vipassana and Zazen, Buddhist meditation techniques. If you go deep into them, the fundamentals are the same. When you are doing Vipassana walking, you have to walk more slowly than you have ever walked before. So slowly that it is absolutely new. The whole feeling is new, and the reactive mind cannot function. It cannot function because it has no program for it. It simply stops functioning. That's why in Vipassana you feel so silent watching the breath. You have always breathed, but you never watched it. This is something new. When you sit silently and just watch your breath coming in, going out, coming in, going out, the mind feels puzzled. What are you doing? Because you have never done it, it is so new that the mind cannot supply an immediate reaction to it. Hence, it falls silent.
So we have reached the end of the episode. I hope that all of this made sense to you, and I really wish that you guys also in some way start experiencing self-awareness, learn more about yourself. If you do, let us know in the comments. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Silent.